Ghana to Space 20. A private agency dedicated to space science, exploration, astronomy, and technology. They are tailored to support local scientists and astronauts in undertaking research in areas such as astrophysics, remote sensing, natural resource management, weather forecasting, and agri. Galaxy Aerospace Ghana. So, Mr. Dazi, let's start with that. Tell us what you do. What Galaxy Aerospace, Galaxy Aerospace Ghana does.
All right, thank you very much for allowing us this platform to also share what we have. I'd wanted to ask this question first. Do you believe we'll get to space by 2030?
It depends on what we're going to do in space. If we are flying a satellite into space, I think 2030 is fine. But are we taking an astronaut? Evidently, no.
No.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay, so basically what Galaxy is doing, I mean, we are frontiering the space technology or the space knowledge in this part of our world. I mean, having seen all the spacefaring nations, spacefaring continents, you can see how massively they are developing. You look at the likes of ESA, European Space Agency, you look at Japan Space Agency, Russia, United States of America. Look at all these, even Asia. There's fast development. But when you come to this side of the world, I think development is quite slow. And I believe this is as a result of lack of the space intelligence and space technology, and the fact that there is a general non-belief that it could happen that we get to space. Either we are taking a satellite to space, or we are flying a rocket, or producing an astronaut.
Has there never been a Ghanaian astronaut, maybe in NASA or something? Never.
Okay, there's
no Ghanaian has been to space.
To space, but there are a lot of workers in there. A lot
yeah.
of workers in most of the space agencies outside Ghana, and that is why we say we believe we can do same. Because if we've got our people and a lot of Africans working in most of these space agencies out there, why can't we here decide to create that space agency and become a frontier? We see the likes of South Africa. I mean, DSTV, they have been launching a lot of satellites through maybe SpaceX, etc. I mean, why can't we build a rocket and service them?
Okay, wait. 2030.
Yes.
You want to send Ghana to space?
Yes.
Specifically by what means? Tell us the 2030 approach. What are we doing?
Okay, thank you.
Obviously, you're not sending an astronaut to space in the next 6 years. That's out. So what is it that you're going to do to say we've sent Ghana to space in the next 6 years? Less than 6 years.
So when we talk about being in space, it means your presence is felt in space.
Exactly.
Good. As you said, it could be a satellite. It could be your propulsive vehicle, which takes you to space. It could be
of course, that one is out. Astronaut is out. The vehicle too is out. Under 6 years, what are we doing to send Ghana to space?
No, it's not out.
Unless you've started building it 10 years ago. Then that one.
You see, let's be honest. Space is not an invention.
Of course.
It's already there.
All right.
It's already working. People a lot of companies, Rocket Lab, they are building rockets to space day in, day out. SpaceX, Elon Musk is launching 3-4 rockets a day. So what stops you from launching within the next 2 years? Is it the money? Is it the sense? Is it the knowledge? Is it the fact that we can't come together to build something like that?
Blow our minds. Tell us the plans.
Good. So Galaxy Aerospace we have a mission, and we have different departments. Of course, we have the satellite department, we have the rocketry department, and we have our research group as well. You know, when it comes to satellites, these CAMSATs, these little ones, well, we are even trying to start training in most of our universities to train them to build satellites. I mean, it should be some of the things that we'll start with. But the main objective is to make our presence felt in space. So when you hear Japan, you know Japan has someone on ISS who is working in his own lab doing something. Recently, we had somebody from UAE go to the ISS. At least the presence was felt in space. recently we were hearing that Nigeria wants to send someone to the ISS as well. So the presence was felt in space. So there are a lot of places where we can say Ghana to space 2030 because we are telling you that the presence is going to be felt. We can't say, okay, we are launching a rocket because, these things, some of these things are quite confidential when we are building some of these things, you just need people to believe. One thing we wake up every day, I tell myself is, when you wake up in the morning, there should be a purpose for you. You should have, for humanity. You should have a purpose why you woke up. You don't wake up and say, I'm going to job. I'm going to work. Most Africans say, I'm going to job because they don't have passion for what they do. And in the space industry, we need a lot of passion. I mean, of course, we are not producing anything. It's not like we are making loads of money because we are not sending anything across board to space. But the passion, the work, the people, and what we've done through research, and what we say that we will get to space by 2030, we mean we'll get to space by 2030. We've done a few projects before. We launched the balloon to space, took a lot of pictures, went suborbital. But the heat blew up the balloon, but we still recovered our cameras. We have beautiful videos of, so at least we've gone suborbital.
It was launched from Ghana, the
balloon?
Balloon?
Yes. I mean, we had the national security
where
there.
Where specifically was it launched from?
Bujumbura. That's where our premises.
Okay.
And we had the national security there. We had to take license from the aviation center and all that. So we have been there. Secondly, we've done a few projects with the Munich University. We tried a new project called the Space Elevator Project, which we intend to develop going forward, which is not going to use fuel for launch into space. Ghana is at the tip. We are at the equator. So such technology can take place here. We are just using, I would say, a rope, but it's a specialized rope where we will put the payload, which is probably a satellite, on our space elevator. So it's just like an elevator. And then it shoots up. As it's going up, the friction generates energy for it. So as it gets into space with a specific accelerated speed, it gets there and leaves the satellite in space and returns. You didn't use fuel. You saved up some energy.
The space elevator hasn't been tried anywhere else?
Yeah, there have been a lot of people doing a lot of research. It's the issue is where it needs to be launched. You can't just launch it from anywhere. If you do it at the southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, the Earth sometimes rotates and tilts. But at the equator, even if it rotates and tilts, the equator is still
a bit stable.
Stable. So that's where the space elevator can work. And we have done projects on it. I think we had the German ambassador visit us when we had that program. But, well, unfortunately, space. It's not every time that it will work at the first go. So we had to go back to the table to do more research and more. But as of now, we are combining all because we have a limited time. I am the mission engineer, meaning that I am supposed to engineer us towards our mission. So whatever it takes that we get there, we have a lot of resource people, very intelligent people around Africa who talk to us, some in Nigeria, some in Cameroon, who are really willing to make this work. So we have put a lot down. We are saying we will be felt in space by 2030. The president, when you mention Ghana, would say, okay, they have something there. They are doing this. They have brought a new research. We have beautiful research work on a few lovely projects that haven't been touched yet. So we are on the ascendancy. We started 2020, today 2024, we are at ZTV. It means there's progress. It means the awareness is part of the mission. And now our mission is we are going. So we know that steady growth and it's there. By 2030, if you don't feel that presence and it's not there, there would have been a very solid platform for us to say, look, we can really feel we are going to space. Right now, you might not feel it. I don't think you feel that, there's a lot of work going on. In Winneba, there's a lot of expansion works. We are expanding a lot. We have huge space for our ground station. We have plans in fact, we are even developing the school already, an aerospace school to train astronauts in Africa, to train pilots. So have all those simulation stuff that they use. What deters us from getting there? Nothing. It is just the belief. We just don't believe we can do it. So we are stuck. Because I remember we had a program on the formation of stars. And I said the sun is a star, and then somebody asked me, but those things, they are already there. How are you talking about formation of stars? It was created, it was there. But then it's created. It's formed. There are stars that are born every day. Yeah. There are stars that die. Galaxies are forming. They are expanding. So all these things are knowledge that we need to know. But from childhood, your mind is so squeezed that you are not allowed to explore. You know, when you ask questions, they're like, "Oh, forget it." When I was young, I asked why the sky is blue. Say, forget it. You don't need, just know that the sky is blue. But there's a reason why the sky is blue. You understand? So with all these things, and also, space brings a lot of knowledge because everything is out there. We've saturated everything here. Everything is out there. So why not get there and bring something in? Talk about space mining. They have been talking about the moon, getting to the moon, mining on the moon, mining asteroids, etc. Because when a star dies, huge stars die, they produce a lot of metals. The periodic table, every metal above 26 is produced when a bigger star dies. From titanium, silicon, all those things are found in all these asteroids and all that. So
your team at Galaxy Aerospace that you work with, what qualifications do they have?
Initially, the first thing is your passion.
Okay.
Because
loads of it.
Yeah.
If you have loads of it,
yes,
and you walked into any place, they still want to know why you believe you're qualified to lead a space conversation. What kind of qualifications does a team members have?
Right. Obviously, when we talk about the technical side, obviously you need to be an engineer.
What kind?
You know, the space has a lot. I mean, from materials engineer, mechanical engineers, propulsion engineers, electrical engineers. It's a whole broad.
And you are all trained within Ghana.
Yeah, we are all trained. All those engineers, it's offered in Ghana. Aerospace engineers offered in Ghana. Right? We learn a bit of propulsion in aerospace engineering. Mechanical engineer is offered in Ghana. We had a podcast one of these days, and there was a student that said, look, even the lecturers say that thing that people are talking about is not true. So it's the best thing is you better start learning and finding somewhere to travel to. So if somebody is trained this way, he doesn't believe that he can do it here. And that is the problem. When you finish school, you have not finished. Your mind is just trained to come and apply what you learned and use it better and use it to change humanity. So I believe that there is nothing stopping us from sending an astronaut to space in 2030. Why can't you train a Ghanaian for 6 years and send him and he be part of a capsule going to space? Him joining the Soyuz capsule, him joining the Dragon, SpaceX Dragon capsule. Why can't we?
How are you raising money for this project?
That's a big question. That's why I said.
Yeah, that's ZFM. We ask very big questions.
Yeah, so that's why I said it has to come with a lot of passion. If you look at what SpaceX did, when they decided to go to Mars, they decided to bring Starlink on board. Why? Because they needed to raise money. And it started raising money for them. So they are completing their project. We're part of bringing Starlink to Ghana. I mean, we were frontiers of bringing Starlink to Ghana. And through that, we also thought we could generate funds to fund our project and also form collaborations with big companies in the aerospace industry like SpaceX, NASA. We already have people in there that we talk to. And so we really believe, I mean, the presence will be felt. We have done some things. We have really done some things. And as I sit here as a technical machine engineer, I am the right person to even tell you this because we have put in things in place.
What's the size of the team?
Okay, because they are, I would say, we have some outside, we do the collaborations and all that. I would say we are about 24, 25.
How many are, core staff members in Budumbram?
They are about 8.
You inclusive?
Yeah.
And who are the others? What are their qualifications?
We have telecom engineers in there. We have electrical engineers in there. We have mechanical engineers like me. We are more because...
And they come to work Monday to Monday because, of course, it's a passion. So not even Monday to Friday. Monday to Monday.
Every time, every second.
To 12 midnight kind of thing.
Yes, you are researching.
How are they getting paid?
That's why I say it comes with passion. you understand?
Because they're not volunteers.
It comes with passion. Okay. So of course, we're not making money, but we know what we're doing, and we have a very great CEO. He really motivates us. He puts us on our toes. He does very well for us, in as much as, of course. That's why I said it comes with passion. Sometimes you had to...
Victor
Tagbolo. Yes. Some of us even had to resign from where we were, where you were taking some good money, and then say, no, I'm following my passion. Because I want to wake up and feel like I'm working. I don't want to wake up and feel like I have a job.
Okay. There's a big difference between the two.
Yeah. So when you're working, you wake up and you are passionate about what you do. You take something and you're learning. There are a lot of things I learn every day. I start to take certain things and I'm learning. I'm like, I'm just so tired. I can't do this anymore. It just breaks you down. You're like, I can't do this anymore. And I ask myself, am I like current electricity? Because when current meets resistance, it just finds a different way to go. But with perseverance and push, when you meet the resistance, people always come at me and say, you people should stop this thing. I started hearing this thing 4 or 5 years ago. People always trying to stop us. It's not necessary. We are wasting our time. And I said, that motivates me even the more.
Interesting.
You haven't, it's quite interesting to hear somebody who doesn't even know space telling you that you can't do it. Elon Musk was approached by Gene Cernan and Neil Armstrong. They told him he can't do it. They've gone to space. They said he can't do it. He did it. How much more you that you don't even know space? You're saying, I can't do it. So it just motivates me.
One of the saddest things about human beings is our ability to ascribe a certain level of difficulty to something we haven't tried before. We don't even know. So immediately, for me, that's a sad part. So I understand where you're coming from. Still on this space conversation, you're a private firm, the first private space firm in, I'm sure, West Africa or Ghana. Let's say, let's settle on Ghana. What has been your collaborations or otherwise with government? Because these are things you can't do well on your own. What has been the collaborations with government so far?
Okay, so we visited the Ghana Space Science Technology Institute once. They visited us a couple of times as well. They spoke about an MOU going forward because we are the ones doing projects. I don't think we've really had any projects being undertaken by the Ghana Space Science Technology Institute. So I know this awareness would also create a certain new awareness for most of the government agencies and people who are lovers of space. Because we do get calls a lot. A lot of people want to really get into this thing because that is the face of technology. Not what again is what is new again. Space is new. Space just keeps developing. We keep finding, discovering things about space, learning this about space, learning black holes, learning new star formations, why necessary it is, how if an asteroid is coming to hit Earth, how do we even deflect it, and etc. So it's a good platform for us now. As I said, the awareness. We were mostly a bit quiet. You wake up and then you are just in the office and then banging your head on some equations and some software programming here, some lots of codings and all that. You have to learn everything. So we didn't have time for most media coming out. But I think it's time we need to come out and let people know what we're doing so that they get interested, they get involved. We really want people to get involved. We can't go to space alone. That's why we say Ghana to space. We didn't say Galaxy to space. So we want people to get involved, and we believe it to be a success. And as I came in here, you said, we are not taking an astronaut to space. You understand? That is what we face. But we are not perturbed. We believe you can do it.
Okay, so now let me tell you where I come from in terms of this discussion. I'm looking at the 2057 vision by the National Development Planning Commission. Not a single word of space. Not a single word rocket. No. Under science, tech, and innovation, there is the mention of artificial intelligence. Then they go on to talk about e-government, e-business, e-commerce, e-waste, e-health, e-education, and e-research. Of course, if you were to succeed in putting a satellite in space for Ghana, all of this will be, sorted out. Yeah. However, the National Development Planning Commission did not find it necessary to put in any language to do with satellite and space and all the things we are talking about. How disappointing is that?
This shows the environment we are in. It's very disappointing. Of course, we've spoken about it. That is why we were not too much involved with the government agencies. We have a mission, as I said, just like Elon Musk had a mission. He didn't mind whatever the government said. He didn't mind whether you guys had a plan for me. We have a plan of sending Ghana to space. And if it is this platform that will make them go back and look at it and say, look, let's try to put space inside because it's a transformational thing for Ghana. If we have 2 satellites in space from Galaxy and it's being used to check weather conditions, this, do that, and all that, wouldn't be developing. Remember, apart from us, there's another satellite company in Ghana.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's in Kumasi.
Oh, wow.
And they are already even building little satellites. So there's a strong movement for space technology.
It's growing regardless of what government
is doing. It's really growing. And as I said, you need passion. You need to wake up and say, I want to change. I want to change something. I can't just wake up and live through the life 70 years and at the end of the day, maybe I built a house, I bought a car, and that was my achievement. Me personally, I feel I have a mission to change a certain thing about humanity. So changing humanity through the people around you and looking at people use the things that you've changed. I always talk about iPhone, Steve Jobs. Anywhere I see him, probably in heaven, I'll be like, yeah, because he changed humanity. Today we pick up the phone and we're talking. Today all these things are tech. And these are some of the things that we should be looking at as a developing nation. Change something. I still don't understand why we don't have a factory that produces solar panels. And we don't have a university dedicated to solar energy. We have 12 hours of sun throughout the year. And we don't harness 60, 70, 80% of it. It just goes to waste. Sometimes I feel there should be a dedicated university, a dedicated factory that builds solar panels because you can use it even better and sell it to even West African countries. I always say this, we have to learn to develop and wake up and change something. That is it. That is my CEO. Change something. Don't mind anybody. Think of it. Think of it. Even in our university college, we said we're even going to create a department for solar energy. Design solar panels. Make Ghana, we should have power. We shouldn't be buying fuel for power. We have the sun. It's for free. So what are you waiting for? You understand? So there's a strong conviction that we want to change something in Ghana, and that's what we are doing.
So 2030 is still going to happen?
2030 is still going to happen.
what kind of help would you need from all of us as a country to ensure that Galaxy Aerospace takes Ghana into space 2030? What kind of help would you need from the entire country?
Okay, thank you. So the first help is the criticism that we get, which keeps us going. So I think that's the best we have received so far, which is the criticism. Now, we need minds, right? We need people who believe this will work. Somebody approached us with a beautiful idea in space, and the person wrote the thesis, a young boy. He sat and wrote the whole thesis, about 30 pages. I was like, wow, you did all this research? And he said he's even showed it to NASA. And as I said, you have to acquaint yourself with a space agency to develop your idea before we can pick up from there. And I was like, wow. So this mind is sitting there doing nothing. Somebody designed a helicopter in Sunyani, and I saw the comments and I was so sad. I was like, people were just criticizing him, saying, it won't fly. This is a waste of time. Sorry, and I was running, going to look for the person in Sunyani. So that he comes here, we add a bit of aerodynamics to his work, and then we are building something. But then they'll just kill that mind. And then that's all. The person, you call the person to come and help you do something. The person is like, I'm telling you, you do it. Nobody will mind you. So you've killed the idea in somebody. When a child sees water and he jumps in, and I'm a scientist from as far I'm watching, I'm looking at kinetic energy being changed to potential energy, and energy being kept, as in the law of storage of energy. So he jumps into the water and there are ripples, right?
Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's transferred from one stage to the other.
Exactly. So Newton sat there and an apple fell, and he started explaining gravity. So some of these things, but as soon as a child does something, we beat him. But he's experimenting. For him, he's experimenting, and the scientist is sitting there learning, saying, this child did something. And I watched a certain something, and it's making sense to me. So we just need people who have skills and talent in some of these things to come together. As I said, it's not about the money. It's about the passion. The fact that I have brought this idea that has changed something about humanity. So that's the help we need from God. We don't need people to come and tell you that, look in your face and keep telling you, it won't work, it won't work, it won't work. Fine, you can say it. But then if you have an idea, bring it on board.
Ghana to Space 2030. His name is Charles Dazi. He's a mission engineer. He's going to put Ghana into space in one way or the other in 2030. There are so many ways a country can impact the space conversation, and we at ZFM we would do everything possible to ensure that, hey, this thing happens. So that's why we invited you into the studios to tell you that we support what you're doing.
Thank you.
Blow the mind of Ghana. We will be here to celebrate you, and whether it's the space elevator or whether it's a balloon you're putting back up in space, I'm sure when you're about to launch, you would invite us, and our official tech aficionado, or whatever he says of himself, would come and lead that coverage for us. Thank you so much, Charles Dazi, for coming through. Any final words before you take leave of us?
Thank you very much. We are glad Starlink is in Ghana, as was said earlier, as Galaxy Aerospace frontiers it, expanding connectivity. We also believe that internet has now become a fundamental human right. Everybody needs the internet. I mean, so as to spread the technology, because, as you said, there might be a very sharp brain somewhere in the village who doesn't have access to internet, so he can't reach out to us. So we are happy that connectivity is going to go far and wide. We are happy that people are going to hear us and people are going to join minds, and then we can take Ghana to space by 2030. Whether an astronaut, whether a satellite, whether a rocket, trust me, 2030, our presence will be felt.
Charles Dazi is his name. He's a mission engineer, mission technical engineer for Galaxy Aerospace Ghana. And you heard him, Ghana to Space 2030. thank you so much for coming through, and we will be keeping our eye on what is happening in Budumbam and its surrounding areas to see the day space begins to look down on Ghana favorably. Thank you so much, and have a great day, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're 5 minutes to the top of the hour, and as always, it's time to wrap up. It's been an exciting Wednesday midweek edition